One day in 1948, Brian felt marginalized and helpless. The retired General de Gaulle arrived at Paris's Champs-Élysées, at number 10 Rue des Courcelles. This was the location of France's renowned photography studio, Harcourt Studio. Since the 1930s, it had been the preferred choice for French celebrities to have their portraits taken. However, this time General de Gaulle only wore a simple military uniform, without any stripes, and without any medals. After a brief conversation, the photographer captured the troubled general's inner thoughts, thus preserving an iconic photograph for posterity. General de Gaulle's melancholy gaze stared into the distance, as if contemplating France's future. 16 years later, de Gaulle, who had become France's president, made a decision that shocked the world. On January 27, 1964, the Chinese and French governments issued a joint communiqué deciding to establish diplomatic relations. France became the first Western European nation to recognize the new China. Now 60 years have passed, and Sino-French relations have moved forward, despite various twists and turns. On September 11, 1973, French President Georges Pompidou arrived in Beijing, becoming the first Western European head of state to set foot in New China. At the same time, he also fulfilled General de Gaulle's long-held wish to visit China. President Pompidou, who was already seriously ill, continued General de Gaulle's independent foreign policy, opening new possibilities for Sino-French relations. Like General de Gaulle, he too had his photograph taken at Harcourt Studio. However, no nation's path to independence is ever smooth. General de Gaulle's political legacy gradually weakened. After his death, and Sino-French relations experienced repeated setbacks. It wasn't until 1995 when newly elected Jacques Chirac comprehensively adjusted France's foreign policy, restoring the tradition of major power diplomacy and working to enhance France's international standing. On his inauguration day, he emphasized France's status as a nuclear power, committing to defend France's position in the international system and supporting the United Nations and a multipolar world order. History has shown that whenever France prioritizes its national interests and pursues an independent foreign policy, Sino-French relations would improve. During President Delac's 12 years in office, France became the first Western power to establish a comprehensive strategic partnership and institutional strategic dialogue with China. It was also the first to hold mutual New Year celebrations and establish cultural centers with China. While serving as Minister of Culture, this president also had his portrait taken at Studio Harcourt. Since then, long-term friendly exchanges have continued across all cultural fields between China and France. At Studio Harcourt, numerous photographs of cultural figures from both nations have become witnesses to history. This is precisely because it has documented many important historical moments. Harcourt's unique photographic techniques are now regarded by the French as national treasure-level photography, using masterful control of light and shadow to capture subjects' distinctive charm. Harcourt's photographs convey a power that resists the passage of time and becomes eternally classic. In fact, throughout history, French political leaders have preferred Studio Harcourt for their official portraits, with many former presidents having been honored guests here. Harcourt's signature has been preserved alongside these political leaders' photographs throughout history, enduring to this day. There's a saying in Paris that if you haven't heard of Harcourt, you can't really consider yourself a Parisian. With individual photographs costing up to 20,000 RMB, it's been called the Hermes of portrait photography. Though trends come and go, only Harcourt endures. Harcourt's minimalist yet sophisticated artistic style has withstood the test of time, becoming a unique witness to 60 years of Sino-French friendship.